the mystery of the ancient gods with two right hands or two left hands. Why were they depicted like this? Archaeologists and researchers are deeply concerned. Why do some ancient gods have two right or two left hands? We see them in Babylonia, in ancient Egypt. We also see them in Latin America. Now, who are these ancient gods with two left hands or two right hands instead of one left hand and one right hand? Is it from this world or from some other world or beyond, far from the earth? Why are such gods scattered all over the planet? And what does it mean? It's truly one of the most inexplicable mysteries. Researchers find it very difficult to put forward an opinion and much more to justify it. We've also seen statues and murals with ancient gods with 6 fingers and 6 toes. So this phenomenon found in a large and important part of the ancient world, especially in Egypt, Sumeria, Babylon, and Central America, especially in Tijuana in Mexico. Now, given the remoteness of these areas, the locations of such finds implies automatically an ancient world culture or at least great influence of great and respected culture. Of course, it could not be ruled out that it is a lost tradition of a much more ancient civilization, even from those mentioned above. And one of these gods is Marduk, the Babylonian god Marduk with 2 left hands that we see. Support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box. And this is the image of Marduk, the Babylonian god with 2 left hands. So what can the depiction of these gods with 2 identical hands mean? Now, it's certainly been ruled out that this is the fault of painters, sculptors, or people that depicted them this way. It's certain that not everyone together could have made the same mistake. And in fact, so seriously, they're depicting gods like this. Now, another version could be that these gods are a product, quote unquote, of some teratogenesis, that is, children born with 2 bodies or 2 heads. But why did this only happen to the gods? Or why, if they were common mortal babies with 2 same hands, they were deified and held positions of power? So these questions lead to the conclusion that suggests that the existence of these gods was not of earthly origin, but came from somewhere else, from planets or of the stars. After all, there are many traditions and texts that speak of gods who came to earth beyond earth, from the heavens somewhere, the skies. Another version is that it is just a symbolism. In various cultures and traditional religions, there is a belief that the hands are so comparable to the eyes that they reach the point of identification, and because the hands are controlled by the cervical plexus, they become very sensitive to etheric vibrations. To better understand, perhaps it would be wise to liken the hands to antennas that can, quote, pick up radio signals, end quote. So in this sense, the hands can perceive and see like the eyes, or perhaps even more. But let's look at the hands separately. They seem to be 2 different and opposite poles. Following ancient traditions, the right hand usually respects action, while the left hand represents wisdom. The hands, right or left, can be responsible for the flow of energy for therapeutic and medical purposes, from therapist to patient. The therapist receives the energy which is around him with one hand and passes it to the other hand to channel it to the patient. So if all of this theory has any substance, then the 2 same hands in the ancient depictions is an overemphasis on the power and qualities that an ancient king, god, or an ordinary man had. In simple words, it was his specialty. 2 left hands signaled and depicted how strongly, quote unquote, he was receiving the energy of the reception. 2 right hands, how much they could transmit or broadcast this energy. So if we now wanted to give more and more peculiar dimensions to the subject, we could assume that the power that some people had in their hands could not only heal some people, as in the case in some cases even today, but even more boulders and build cyclopean buildings, as we have seen done in some science fiction movies with the movement of just one hand. So I've translated this for you from another Greek article. So now we know that it must be symbolism. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support.